Hello students, welcome to my next YouTube class. So this is the next chapter, uniform circular motion. I hope you have wrote the numericals which I have given in my previous video of friction chapter. Also the PDF file, some extra questions, do write that numericals. Okay, so let's start our video today. So uniform circular motion, an object when it changes its position with respect to time, we say that object is in motion. When an object's position does not get changed with respect to time, we say that object is in rest. Whereas whenever an object is moving in a circular path with its constant speed, and at each and every point the direction is getting changed, this type of motion we call it as uniform circular motion, right? An object is starting from P1, after a time t2 it has acquired p2. So like this, each and every time it has been seen that velocity or the magnitude of that velocity, that is speed, remains same, but each and every position at p1 the velocity is tangential, at p2 it is tangential, right? So velocity direction is getting changed. When I say velocity, that means speed plus direction. Speed is constant but direction is getting changed, right? So this type of motion is called uniform circular motion. Now from the diagram it is clear that you see when an object is at P1, let us consider the time was T1. Now after time T2 it has moved to P2. So likewise you see there is a displacement of the position of a particle with respect to its center, with respect to its radius. So you see what is getting changed here? Displacement, it is called angular displacement. Here the displacement is along angle, that means angle is getting changed. So initially let us consider this is theta1, after time 2 this will be theta2. So similarly this theta is getting changed. What is this theta? This is called angular displacement, right? And one thing you note here, the velocity is always perpendicular to the radius, right? The magnitude of v is constant but its direction is changing from the diagram. In each position the velocity v is perpendicular to the r, right? The velocity is perpendicular to the radius, and the angle of revolution is considered as del theta. That means this displacement is there in a circular position, and in this case theta is getting changed. As theta is getting changed, we consider it as del theta, that means angular displacement. Okay, so angle equals to arc by radius. You see, when an object, when it has moved to here, like for example here, right? So this is del s, this is the change in displacement, and this is arc. So that means del s by r, del s by r equals to del theta, right? Which is called angular displacement. The rate of angular displacement undergone by a particle performing uniform circular motion is called angular velocity. Velocity, which we have learned in a smaller class, velocity was displacement by time. Now displacement by time was velocity. Here the object is moving in a circular path. As it is moving in a circular path, there is an angular displacement. So angular displacement per unit time is called here angular velocity, okay, which is denoted by omega. This is an omega sign, omega, right? So omega is an angular velocity. So that means the rate of displacement undergone by a particle in a uniform circular motion. Okay. So hence, if we say if the time taken by the particle in one complete rotation be capital T, okay, when an object is moving in a circular path, okay, the total time, this was the position P1, so it has moved, again it has come back to P1. So if the total time is T, and once it makes the complete rotation, what will be the total displacement? That means what will be the total angle? It is changing here, so total angle is 360 degree. Okay, so omega can be written as 2 pi in place of angular angular displacement del theta, total angle change is 360, that means 2 into 180, pi is 180, so 2 pi by t, right? Or this can be written as omega equals to 2 pi into 1 by t or 2 pi into f, because 1 by time period is frequency, so omega can also be written as 2 pi f, right? So these are the formulas which will be used in numerical. So this was angular velocity, that means del theta by del t, and when a particle makes one complete rotation, if I consider the total time be capital T, then here omega will be 2 pi by t or 2 pi f, right? So what is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? We'll see now. Relation between angular velocity and linear velocity, right? That is between omega and v. Omega means angular velocity and v means what? Linear velocity. Okay, so just now we have seen angle equals to s by r, right? If I consider here del s, then this will be del theta, then there will be del s. Here angle equals to arc by radius. If angle is changing, then there will be change in the radius, that is change in the arc, that means in circular path, del s, dividing both sides by del t, that means change in time. If the time is changing, if I divide both sides by del t, then I will get here del t, that means del s by del t into 1 by r, right? And here we can place the limit also, or if I remove the limit concept just for the time being, for the limit del t turns to 0. Okay, so del theta by del t, so just I am dividing by del t here. Now when I divide by del t, that means you see del theta by del t equals to del s del t into 1 by r. So what is this? 1 by r, this is what? A v. Okay, so v was del s by del t, that means velocity, this is the linear velocity, that means displacement by time, and here this is omega, angular displacement. Okay, so omega equals to v by r, or this can be written as v equals to omega r. So from this relation it is clear that you see v equals to omega r means here greater the distance of the particle from the center, greater will be the linear velocity. That means if r is will be greater, v will definitely be greater, right? Because v equals to omega r. Now if you need to write in vector form, this can be written as r omega. So this is the vector form, right? Omega into r, that is cross product. When an object is moving in a circular path, in a circular motion, the force is always acting towards its center, okay, and the velocity is towards the outside, that is in tangential. So if I say this is the path of the object, here when each and every motion the path is tangential, okay, velocity is tangential, but here force is always towards its center. So a body performing a circular motion is acted upon by a force which is always directed towards the center of the circle. This force is called centripetal force. Or you say, when an object is in a circular path, the force acting towards the center is known as centripetal force. This centripetal force is balancing the object to be in its circular position or circular motion. So you see, we'll get that. We'll first find the definition or the derivation of the acceleration. Acceleration we know that means displacement or velocity by time. Okay, acceleration equals to change in velocity by change in time. This ddt we can so in terms of del t only, as we have solved for the previous derivation in terms of del t. So let's solve in terms of del t only, that is dv by or del v by del t, right? Change in velocity by change in time. So del v, in place of v, what we can write here? Omega r, because just now we have seen the relation between velocity and angular velocity. So v equals to omega r. So in place of v I have substituted omega or del t. Okay. So omega, if I take out common, what will be here? Del r by del t. This is the displacement and time. So displacement by time, what we can write here? That is velocity. Okay. Or a equals to omega can be written as v by r into v. That means acceleration equals to v square by r. So this is one equation. This is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. In equation 1, in place of omega, I have substituted v by r. Right? So we got this equation. We can get other equation as here. A equals to omega r. In omega r, in omega v here, if I multiply here r and if I divide by r, this equation, if I multiply by r and divide by r. So when I multiply here, this v by r, what is it? It is omega. So this can be written as omega into omega, that means omega square r. Okay, so this is the third equation. So acceleration can be written as omega v, or here a equals to v square by r, or a equals to omega square r. Okay, so these are the three expressions for acceleration. Now centripetal force means F equals to ma, that means acceleration acquired by a particle when it is in a circular path, that acceleration is considered to be as centripetal acceleration. Okay, so this one you will note in your exercise book. So this was the expression for acceleration, and this one we will consider as centripetal acceleration. So you can give the topic centripetal acceleration. Okay, so here force which balances the object in the circular path is F equals to ma. F equals to m as it is. What was acceleration? V square by r. Okay, so this was the centripetal acceleration. So whenever a object is moving in a circular path, here suppose a string is tied with a stone and you are just rotating that stone. So stone is trying to go in outward direction with a force called centrifugal force, that is the outward force. The force which makes the object move in a circular path, and the force which is acting towards the center, that is centripetal force. Okay, this centripetal force is given by, or it balances by the tension in that string. Okay, so actually what is the centripetal force here? Then force equals to mv square by r. For today's class only this much. Okay, so write these notes in your exercise copy and do watch the video till the end, right? Don't skip the video, right? And very soon I'm going to interact with you in the Microsoft team. and we will discuss the syllabus for your coming exam. Okay, so see you soon.